Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are the co-hosts of Jumping Bomb Audio, the #1 show all about the world of Joshi Pro Wrestling. Episodes drop every other Monday, where we discuss the biggest Joshi news, review shows, and preview the hottest upcoming Joshi action.
So whether you're a new fan or an old fan, we've got something here for you at Jumping Bomb Audio.
Check us out on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Super J-Cast. I'm Jon, joined by Damon McDonald. It is Thursday the 18th of April 2024. This is episode 306. Welcome back, Damon. How are we feeling?
Thank you. First day back with at least a somewhat functioning voice. I was a hurting pup, and there's no way I could have fucking done a show. Like coughing and wheezing and no voice. I think Joel would have jumped out a window at that point. So thank you, Suit Williams, for hopping in on such short notice. But yeah, I still have it. Like my voice is still like a little fucking cloggy, and it's in my ear now, so my ear hurts. And I'm just old, man. Like, remember when your body used to fight off fucking germs, and mine does not. Mine just lets it sit and fester like a fucking petri dish. It's ridiculous. How are you?
I'm good, Damon. And you know what's made me feel even better?
What's that?
Is that there's a sale on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Ooh.
20% off from April 19th to April 22nd.
Nice.
No coupon needed.
Yeah.
And I've not really read this properly. So the new sale graphics for the sale that starts tomorrow. No coupon is needed on this sale.
Okay.
No coupon.
No coupon. All right.
You don't need a code or nothing. You just go prowrestlingtees.com/SuperJcast.
Yeah. That's where you need to go.
Get one of our t-shirts with 20% off.
Come on.
What
I mean,
steal?
listen, if right. I mean, listen, imagine walking around town with that. Oh, maybe the bee's knees. What a conversation starter. Oh, you listen to the Super J Cast too? I'm going to cough for it. All right, I muted myself.
You should get...
I muted myself. Yeah, get on that. We haven't really sold a lot of t-shirts in recent months, years. And, partially our fault. We don't really have a new design. But you know what? Refresh the wardrobe, right? Grab it, 20% off, help us out, and you look stylish and fly. Or as the kids say, drip. Drip. Ugh.
Might pick one up for myself.
Yeah. I had one. I will say this, though. My fucking one wash, and it's just all fucking all out of shape and shit. So hopefully, they've improved on the t-shirt quality. We'll see.
I have. They told me they're making them indestructible now.
Oh, nice.
You could do anything to these: scissors, chainsaw, fire. You
Rifle.
cannot damage.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's like a SWAT team can outfit their entire unit with our t-shirts. That's good news. That's good.
Correct. It's lighter and stronger than Kevlar. So
Love it.
all your money back, guaranteed.
Yeah.
It will stop a bullet.
Yep. Test it. Try it out. Let us know how it goes. We're very curious. Hopefully Chris Charlton's the first one. Kidding.
We started early on the Chris Charlton. Hey, that's usually penciled in for 15 minutes into the episode.
Yeah, usually.
Not wasting any time today.
No, listen. I'm hell bent for leather. Also, I'm going to let you know one of my favorite tag teams of all time, Stan Hansen and Brody King. Fucking awesome. Fucking what a team that was back in the 80s. What a boob. All right. Listen, I had a week off of recovery, but I'm ready. I'm ready to talk New Japan Pro Wrestling, and here's why, Joel. I heard through the grapevine, not even through the grapevine, I saw it with my own two eyes. We got a new world champion, don't we?
We certainly do.
Do
you want to get straight into it? Are we going to sack off all the preamble and the off-topic banter and go straight into Jon Moxley as our new IWGP champ?
You are the master. You are the dungeon master. So you tell me. I'm more than willing to jump right on in because I think it is a definite topic of debate and a lot of people planting their flags down, and I'm curious to see where you stand. I'm sure our listeners are curious. So I'm trying to talk and cough at the same time. Curious to see where we stand. I'm going to cough mute. All right, there you go.
Oh, well, so the thing is, there's some little news tidbits here.
Okay.
Like if we start with Moxley and
Right.
we go in sort of descending order and start with the cool stuff, then I'm going to completely run out of energy by the time we get to the end, and the news is going to go
Right. Okay. News first.
which might be good. I don't know.
I think there's plenty. Let's do news first. Let's warm up everybody. Let's get everybody in the mood. Everybody can take off their pants, relax, sit on the couch, take off your brassiere or boulder holder, if you will, and relax. Where should we start, Joe?
Let's start with Oliver, who says, what were Damon's thoughts on the WrestleCon show and any other Mania Week shows attended?
Yeah. Wow, it was a while ago, wasn't it? That's where I think I got sick, by the way. Some fucking mouth breather. It was sick. Had to get me sick. Yeah, it was nice. I thought the Hitchcock show was pretty fun. Again, front row. Yeah, I thought it was. It was one of those shows, and it, in watching these shows in the past, it is that Fire Pro Wrestling fucking crazy matchup. I never thought I would say kind of shit. And of course, we're in Philly, so there's got to be the tip of the cap, the ECW. So of course, Sandman and Bill Alfonso had an appearance. Who else? RVD was there. I'm trying to think what was the best. Probably the trios, multi-man, Dragon Gate versus CMLL. That was pretty good. That was pretty fun. I liked it. I thought it was good. Then I went to also the Joey Janela show, and they opened up tickets that day, or maybe like the day before. General admission, they made it more available, so I was able to hop on and grab one. But I left after match 4. I swear to God.
It's that good.
Well, one, I'm standing, right? So, and it's not like an elevation. So, I'm looking at the back of people's heads for the most part. 1, 2. First match is Minoru Suzuki and Masato Tanaka.
Oh, God.
Right? Against, what was it? What's her name? Slamovich? Of someone?
Yeah, Masha Slamovich.
Yeah. And here's the thing. The match was good, right? I'm not complaining about the match. It was just like, man, fucking Suzuki, huh? Okay. We're selling here a lot, aren't we? Which I guess that's the world we live in now, right? I don't know. I just thought that was kind of like, ooh, wow, okay. And that match went really long. It felt like people were trying to get to the arena. Like, everybody's triple booked those days. So they were probably wait. It went much longer than I expected. First match probably went, I don't think I'm stretching 15, 20 minutes. I was just like, oh. And, there was like a little slip on a banana peel finish. Also on the show was Danhausen. Like an intergender tag match. It was like him and who was it? I forget the partner, but and then it was like Nick Gage and I don't know, one of the Joshi representatives, and that was like a like a street brawl. I was just like, I don't know. I don't know if the show's for me.
That is just like WrestleMania weekend random nonsense in a sentence, like just distilled into its purest form there.
Yeah. I will say this though. There was a vibe in the city that was pretty amazing. Like the fact that WWE, gives the city the rights to host the event. Like there were banners on the major streets in the city. You couldn't walk a corner without some type of WWE signage or what have you. Yeah, it like I just thought. I mean, this is a multi-million billion-dollar company, mind you, but it was still very weird to me that this is a pro wrestling company, right? That has all this exposure and eyeballs and pretty amazing. WrestleCon itself was good. I saw Dawn Marie. She remembered me, which was nice. I also saw back in the ECW day, like toward the end, a pro wrestler by the name of Lupus, Ken Porter. I haven't seen him in years. I hadn't seen him in like 25 years. And he was there. I was like, oh my God, dude. So that was nice. Talked to Meanie a lot. We grew up in the same high school and backyard wrestling. We were just talking about old times and shit. And he had just gotten married the night before. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, listen, I went to WrestleCon I needed something Ric Flair signed. I'm like, I got to do that. But then I walked out with not only that, but like High Spots was there, and they were selling like all kinds of different prints. Some of them were pretty cool, so I had to buy a Liger one. And then they had like an 8x10 Kawada, and I was like, well, when am I ever going to see that? So I wound up spending like $200 that I shouldn't have. And I will say this too. The WWE World Access, whatever that was at the convention center, was pretty massive. And not for nothing, I thought it was pretty cool. Like it was just like a lot of displays. They had a lot of old timey wrestler outfits. Harley Race, Dusty, Bull Nakano. They had like CM Punk's pipe bomb outfit. They had all the old titles, like the super old Intercontinental, like the green one, like the green leathered one, and all kinds of older titles. I was like, that's pretty fucking cool. I can dig that, And then of course they had like fucking Bray Wyatt's Funhouse and shit like that I could care less. But I thought it was good. I thought it was worth the price of admission, and it was packed. A lot of people. I don't know, man. I was really impressed by the whole weekend. I did not attend any of the WrestleMania events, but I don't know, man. There was a buzz this weekend. Everybody, no joke. You couldn't go anywhere around my house. Like, if you went to fucking the diner or the restaurant or whatever, everybody was, WrestleMania weekend. That's all you heard. That's all you heard. So I would expect a economic boom for the city of Philadelphia because there were a lot of fucking people in that city specifically for WWE's WrestleMania.
Interesting stuff. We've got some other bits and pieces here. Multiverse A says, for music, Damon, since they're in Philly in August and I'm going, has your opinion changed on the Gaslight Anthem? And who's your favourite artist from New Jersey? And there's a question for me afterwards, but let's check in with music, Damon. It's been a while.
Nice. I haven't heard. So the Gaslight Anthem, they did this one song, I think it's them, about like seeing an old girlfriend, like you're at the bar and she walks in with some other dude and it fucks you up and you're already all hammered. And I don't know, I do like that song. But besides that, no. Best band from New Jersey, that's the question. Not Bon Jovi, that's for fucking sure. I'm not a big Bruce guy either. Like that does nothing. I can appreciate the guy's 107 and he performed for 4 hours, great, but like it's just not for me. I was gonna say Cinderella, but I think they're from suburban Pennsylvania. Brittany Fox, maybe. That's a good question. Best New Jersey band. That's a good question. I'm going to say, I mean, look, if we're talking about record sales, Bruce would probably be the winner, right? But I'm going to go out on a limb and say Brittany Fox is my favorite band from New Jersey. How about that? Chew on that, fuckers.
I'll have to look up the Four Seasons.
Like the doo-woppy band?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. I didn't know they were from Jersey.
I went to see, the musical Jersey Boys.
Huh. Yeah.
I like that.
Well, see, here's the problem.
With my mum.
That's North Jersey. Like there is it's like a totally different fucking world. Like I don't even think it's as drastic as I think it's more drastic than like, how people from Manchester and the North hate the people from fucking London, right? I mean, I'm pretty accurate in that, right?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Fair.
And South Jersey is really different from North Jersey. Like North Jersey, yeah, that's where you get all your fucking dumb jokes about the mafia and Sopranos and it smells and blah, 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 blah. Look, all of which are accurate, right? I was going home from fucking Devils Leafs going home. And it smelled like a dirty asshole was lit on fire. It was terrible. It was nauseating. But South Jersey is, a lot of residential, a lot of suburban area. You go further south, lots of farmland. Like it's a little bit night and day. So, yeah, we're not like when people think Jersey, they think Jersey boys, of course. But there's more to the state. I'm just saying. We are the Garden State, by the way. The Garden State. So our fresh produce, mostly from South Jersey.
What about New Brunswick? Is that in New Jersey?
Yes, New Brunswick is North Jersey. Would be considered North Jersey. Yeah.
Okay. Because there's a band I really like from New Brunswick.
Who were they?
Called Thursday. They're called Thursday.
I've heard of them.
A post-hardcore band.
Yeah.
They're really good. I mean, they don't. Actually, I think they've recently released a single, but they've been around since like late 90s.
Yeah,
I started listening to them when I was in secondary school. So love a bit of Thursday.
I'm familiar. Yes, I am familiar. Maybe even like I think Bouncing Souls. They're a punk band that are from Jersey. I might put them on my list too. Yeah, I don't know. How about that? Do you like the? Is Alicia Keys from Jersey?
You're asking me where Alicia Keys is from,
right? Well, you know who
she she is from
Newark, right? Come on,
she's not British, is she?
Alicia Keys?
No, I just googled it, and there was a question saying, "Is Alicia Keys British?" And
no,
I thought,
I think she's from Newark, New Jersey.
New York. She's from,
fuck me.
She was born in New York City. So.
Oh, God damn it. That was close. All right. Well, listen. That was Nosing Around New Jersey. Brought to you by...
I like this one. There's follow-up questions from Multiverse Ace and In Ring Art. But
come on. Why not? What else you got to do?
It's making me sad in my tummy. For Joel, if you could only win one this year, what would it be? Champions League or Premier League and why? And In Ring Art says, does Arsenal have any chance now? Villa's pretty good, but that hurt. These questions were before we got eliminated from the Champions League last night by Bayern Munich, which, we I don't know. We only lost 1-0. And, back in the day, sort of late stage Arsene Wenger, we would be getting like absolutely annihilated. I recall one knockout tie against Bayern Munich. I think the aggregate score after 2 matches was 10-2.
Oof.
So going out 3-2 on aggregate, I'll take that as progress, It's disappointing, but I think we're kind of running out of steam a bit. The players are knackered. And it's just part of the process of sort of figuring out where our ceiling is. And I think we're kind of bumping up against that now and figuring out where the gaps are, what we need to improve for next season. But it's sort of marginal gains, really. It is, but this is like reaching the upper echelons of world football here. I mean, Champions League, Final Four, going toe-to-toe with Man City in the Premier League. These are like literally the best teams on the planet, and I don't believe Arsenal are the best team in the world. So yeah, of course, it's natural. You're going to reach a point where you hit that brick wall, but it's still a little bit disheartening when it happens. But I hope we can continue to push Man City in the Premier League. I don't think we're going to win it, but it would be nice if we run it to the end, or at least close to the end of the season, rather than just collapsing and falling apart as we have done for the past couple of years.
Where you're in second place right now, right?
We are, and if we win at the weekend, we go top again.
Okay.
Like we are only let's say if Man City were to draw a game and we were to win, then we're top again.
Okay.
But I don't think Man City will drop any more points because they're out of Europe as well, so they're just going to be full steam ahead to just destroy everything in their path in the Premier League. And I don't think we're going to win all our games either, because we've got some difficult games. And like I said, we're looking like a team now where if we don't score first after about an hour, we just look absolutely gassed, and the opposition start to get confident and start picking us apart, and things go a bit pear-shaped. So, scary times.
Did I see a loss to Aston Villa?
Yeah, which again disappointing, but they're a good team. They're fourth, like they're the fourth best team in the country. So I don't think there's any shame in losing to Villa. But
come on.
Again, if
you got to win those games.
If you want to be Premier League champions, yes. If you want to be champions, you have to win those games. Like the margin for error to win the Premier League because of Man City and all their financial irregularities, like there's no margin for error. You can't drop any points, basically. Like there was a season once where Liverpool got 97 points, which was obscene, like a ridiculous points tally to accumulate. But they didn't win the league because Man City got 98 points. So that's the kind of thing we're dealing with here. Like you can't be a normal team where prior to Man City and Chelsea to an extent getting all this money in and skewing things financially, you could lose 5 games and still be Premier League champions, but you can't do that anymore. That's the state of play at the moment.
Don't blame Manchester City, man. I saw that.
Yeah, no, I'm not allowed to blame them. Yeah. I will continue to blame them. They've ruined everything. Every time Arsenal lose, even if it's not against City, my gut reaction is be like, fucking City, and they're cheating, corrupt, dirty oil money bastard twats.
Big check pricks. All right. I mean, how many games we got left?
I think there's 6.
Oh, God, come on. Anything in 6 games? I thought you were talking like you had 2.
Yeah, there's still a way to go. Yeah, 6 games left, and we are 2 points behind Man City.
Yeah, come on, give me a little juice. Give me. You're not fucking floating in the water. You got life. Come on, you're in a good position. 6 games left, 2 points down. Come on, they can fucking drop a game. One of those 6, those twats up there, Man City. They could drop a game. They're not unbeatable. Not unbeatable. Do you play them head-to-head at all in those 6 games?
No. Okay. No, we've already played them twice.
All right. Look, the Leafs, we are once again, Joel, entering the playoffs. First round against those Boston Bruins. We don't have a good record against them. We have, in fact... history is not on our side in the sense of we have lost game 7s when we're up 3-1. We find amazing ways to shit the bed, and here we go. I think we can beat them, though. I really do. Why do I think that? I just do.
Maybe this could be the year where Arsenal and the Maple Leafs bring home the gold.
Come on. I mean, here's the thing: you got to slay the dragon, in my mind, right? So I kind of welcome Boston at this point, because, again, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And Boston's always kind of in that mix. It's going to be tough, though. It's going to be tough. So that starts Saturday. My favorite player, Austin Matthews, he was shooting for 70 goals. 70. Last players to do that were in the 90s, right? Score 70 goals. 70. Unfortunately, he had 2 games to hit that mark. He's at 69. and that's where he will stay. But that's good. He still like crushed. He had a great fucking season. Great fucking season. So I don't know, a little nervous. Little nervous. I hate playoffs. I hate like in a regular season. Like you want your team to win, and you're watching every game, and it's like okay, But if you lose, all right, you turn off the TV, you go to fuck to bed, and your life doesn't change. These games, I'm pacing. I'm fucking can't sit still. I'm tapping my feet. I hate it. Every fucking shift is killer. And needless to say, I don't have a great history with winning. So, here we are. Here we are.
Wow. So we could have some wildly celebratory sports preamble podcast chat coming up soon, or the usual depressing, we fucked up again.
We fucking blow. Yeah, so we'll say, I mean, listen, you got to be in it to win it. That's the way I say it, and we can beat this team. We just haven't. But we need stars to step up. We pay a hefty sum for 5 players that have the vast majority of our payroll, and we need those guys to step up big time, and we need some help in goaltending too, to be quite frank. All right, there you go. Well, any other questions from our fine listeners?
Amelia says, you guys still drink cow milk, or are we lactose free these days? I do soy milk for tea and cow milk for everything else, like cereal. I'm semi-skimmed.
I don't drink any of it. No way. It's gross. Milk is gross. I know. I've never had a full glass of milk. Never. I've never. Excuse me, coughing up a lung. I've never had cereal and milk. I've told you this. I've said this story before. I don't like milk. I think milk is pretty gross, actually. That's like one thing I just don't like. So to answer the question, no milk. And here's the thing too. Fuck that almond milk and that fucking making milk out of a fucking Rubik's Cube. No. Milk comes from a fucking cow. Period. I don't want to hear nothing about almonds or soy or whatever. I hate that. Hate it. Thank you. But I do like chocolate milk. I like chocolate milk.
Well, milk doesn't come from a chocolate, Damon.
Oh, I thought Hershey says. Do you have you ever had the strawberry quick?
Strawberry quick?
Yeah, that's right.
What, like Nesquik? Is that is that an American thing?
Yeah, probably. Again, it's a canister of powdery, sugary thing, and you get a glass of milk, and you take a spoonful, put that in, and it's delicious. It tastes like strawberry milkshake. That's what I had as a kid, but I never had regular milk. Never.
Okay, right. So in the UK, that's called Nesquik.
Okay.
And it looks like it's the same thing because it's Nestle, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking it up. It is. All right. So you call it Quick. We call it Nesquik.
Okay. Do you have the stupid rabbit on there?
Yes, we do. I've got a box of strawberry Nesquik in the cupboard. Not for me, it's for the children, but yeah.
Why don't you pour yourself one right now?
I should. You just wait about 3 minutes. I'm going to go upstairs and make some strawberry Nesquik.
I think you should. Now, here's the thing, though. I bet you're going to be like, "Oh, this is so gross," because it is it's sweet. I mean, it's you keep in mind that's 95% sugar that you're pouring into your milk. But I'm going to say, and again, it does not taste anything like straw. It tastes like artificial strawberries, but it's certainly not like taking a fresh strawberry and putting it in your mouth. That's not happening. You're getting powdered sugared strawberry, but it's good. Thank you.
I'd mute myself because we got coughing going on in the background here. I think it's Esther. Esther, pipe down.
Poor girl.
Right, I'm going to get into the news now. Now, there's a lot of little bits here. I don't know if any of these are interesting enough to warrant a conversation.
Right.
So I'm just going to throw all of them at you. And if there's any that you think that sort of pique your curiosity and you'd like to discuss further, then you let me know. So
Please
first of all, we've got Forbidden Door.
Please be tits. Please be tits.
Forbidden Door 3 announced for June the 30th in the UBS Arena. So not Arthur Ashe as originally, I don't know if it was speculated or reported. There was some news floating around, I forget where it was from, saying that New Japan had refused to or declined to pay their half of the production costs for Arthur Ashe, so hence it being moved to UBS Arena. But Rocky Romero vehemently denied those reports about the production costs. So there we go. We've got Forbidden Door coming up June 30th.
That's a nice new arena, by the way. That's a nice new arena, home of the New York Islanders hockey team. Very nice arena. I'm going to guesstimate 18,000, 17,000, maybe a little less. That's a
tidy little number.
I mean, it's a building. It's a legitimate building. And truth be told, I think it's a little bit easier to get to than Arthur Ashe. So I think that is a net positive. Okay.
Excellent. We've got a New Japan Seoul tour that's across June and early July. So we've got a lot of dates there up in northern Japan, possibly to compensate the fact that there were not many G1 dates in northern Japan. And that will end at a venue called the Tokyo Budokan in Adachi, where they've not had a show for 22 years, and apparently it's a venue that Naito requested early in the year. So that's New Japan Seoul. We have the Despi Invitational on June the 10th, which is basically a mystery vortex show. It looks like it might kind of be a spiritual successor to the Takataichi Despi Mania things, but Despi doing cool stuff. We have the return, of Tamashi. So we've got 2 dates in Sydney and Melbourne, May 17th and 18th, and they have announced Bishamon. That's all that's been announced to them. So Bishamon are going to be in Tamashi. And the last bit of news is Yo, unfortunately, contrary to rumours that we'd heard, is going to be out of Best of the Super Juniors. So Red Bear Hugh says Yo is officially out of Super Juniors. Who takes his place? Safe bet is Musashi, I think. Did you get a Japanese talent or bring in someone from CMLL or TNA? So that's all the news. Any of those you'd like to dip back into, David?
Yo's disappointing, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think did they disclose the injury?
It was the shoulder. The bad shoulder he had. He had a gammy shoulder. Let me look. Let you see exactly what it is. Go to the website. So, a dislocated left shoulder and damage to the shoulder labrum.
Yes. Yeah, that's not good. Surgery, I'm assuming. Yeah, he might be on the shelf for a little bit. I mean, you figure all the bumps. I mean, just the idea of taking a bump, you're tucking your chin, you're fucking hitting the mat. I mean, that's a lot of abuse on the shoulder, upper back. Sucks, but yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, I'd rather him get the surgery instead of trying to fight through it. Because, truth be told, are we going to lose any momentum with Yo out? I don't think so. But
I think arguably he gains more from missing out on the tournament and making people miss him. Yep. And then he'll come back at a big, hopefully a big stage, a nice spot for Yo. And I think people will be excited to see him rather than he's back for Best of the Super Junior.
Right.
So yeah, good for him setting this one up.
Yeah, he's probably living the life. He can draw his goofy pictures, his poop collection, and all that shit. Oh boy, I'm gonna fucking die. I know it. All right, what else we got?
Right, let's get into Windy City Riot then. Did you see either of the pre-show matches?
Yes, I did. No, wait. So I had a little difficulty finding it in the beginning, and I had to reach out to our Discord channel to be like, "Where the fuck? If you're in Japan, where are you watching this?" And it was that secondary TV channel. I found it. I got it. So that's where I watched it. So I'm trying to think. Did I see the? Give me the matches. Maybe I did. I don't remember them.
So we had the Strong Survivor match, which is the sort of academy. Is that what they call it? The gimmick they have where the winner of the match stays on to wrestle in the next event. So this was Matt Vandergriff beating Zane J in 3 minutes 33 seconds by a Styles Clash. I still think Matt Vandergriff kind of looks like it's a cross between AJ Styles and Chase Owens, not in a good way. But Zane J looked better, but he lost this match, so whatever that counts for. But it's just interesting. Like, I know these guys are not rookies or anything. Like they've been around on the Indies, but just when you have like a 3-minute pre-show match for like the Japanese young lions, it's just all absolute basics. Black trunks, slapping on a hold, Boston crabs. But these guys were just like trying to cram in every single high-flying move they knew in the space of 3 minutes and finishing up with the Stars Clash. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily a good idea to try to remind the audience of a wrestler who's much better than you in your finishing maneuver. I think that's not such a good thing. But I mean, the match was just fine. Like for 3 minutes, it was perfectly inoffensive and, dare I say, quite entertaining. So that was the first one. Second one was a women's tag match where Trish Adora and Alex Windsor beat Viva Van and Mina Shirakawa. 7 minutes, 3 seconds. As Alex Windsor got the win over Viva Van with a GTF. I thought this was really good, actually. I didn't have particularly high expectations going in. But Viva Van looked much better than last time we saw her. And the other three are pretty experienced wrestlers. And I thought they did a really good job here. Filled up the 7 minutes and everyone got a bit of shine. So all in all, pretty good pre-show, I thought.
Okay. I like that. I mean, I don't want to tip my cards, but like, I think the ladies on this show were like some of the best matches and best performances, and that's good to hear. I did not see that match, but yeah, I mean, look, if there's some like little glimmer of hope for the US scene, like I'm not down on the ladies division and the women's division. I'm really not. Now, again, am I running around the country to go to these matches? No, but I like I'm really struggling to think. Like in the years that they have had representation on New Japan shows, I don't think we've really seen a bad match, have we? Like literally.
No, yeah, low key. It's been one of the strengths of the New Japan Strong brand, I think.
I do too.
They've got access to a pretty underrated pool of talent and are using them, dare I say, to better effect than other US promotions are using their women's divisions.
I tend to agree. Yes, I'm with you. And again, it is this constant rotation of fresh talent and fresh names, and sometimes it might be a little bit hard for a casual watcher to sink their teeth into it. But like, I'm really trying to think, like, have I been like at match ends? Have I been like, oh, what the fuck did I just watch? And I don't think that's been the case. And it's not like this, they get the benefit of the company helping them promote matches, promote shows, the titles themselves. It's not like they've got this fucking multimedia conglomerate behind them, helping them. They're doing it on their own. And it's like this small little word of mouth, grassrooty kind of thing. Look, at one point, I think I would definitely be in the camp of, I really don't need this on my New Japan Pro Wrestling shows. I don't think I'm not embarrassed to say that, right? I just thought, there's plenty of women's promotions in Japan specifically. Do we need this? Do we need another title? Do we need another thing to divert our attention? Look, I got no problem with what I have seen and what they have done themselves, by and large. So, yeah, I would say a definitely underrated aspect of following this product, no doubt.
First match was Ren Narita defeating Minoru Suzuki in 7 minutes 43 seconds with a double cross. I thought they did a fairly good job avoiding the copy-paste Suzuki US Indies match with funny faces. I mean, there were lots of funny faces here, but I thought Ren tried to sort of drag it to something slightly more interesting. And of course, he didn't have all his House of Torture goons, so there were no run-ins to speak of. But I'd say this is a pretty big win for Ren.
I would say so.
Suzuki still got a lot of cachet with the US fans, and they like to do the Kazunina Ray and all of that, and obviously setting him up for his big Dontaku stuff later on, which we will get onto later. But perfectly fine opener.
Yeah, and here's the thing: when this match, they're doing the introductions. Trust me, the first thought in my mind is, well, not for nothing, Suzuki could, agree to the match at Philly. Sorry, cough coming. Why not lie down here? And, a guy like Suzuki, in the past, I've heard quite a few stories of how he pretty much dictates the match, right? If you're working with Minoru Suzuki, this is his match. He's calling it. And here's the thing, rightfully so. He could have said no. We've had other people say no. And to me, especially in the States, I can't think of another guy who has enough stock and yet it's perfectly fine for him to lose and put over somebody. You know what I mean? Like, he's got enough, especially in the U.S. Like, you're right. They just want to sing the fucking song and they want to see the chops and they want to hear the hard hits and all that shit. I'm in. Okay, fine. But, he's 107 years old at this point, and it's okay for him to lose. He doesn't have to, but I like the fact that he did. And I like the fact, look, this show, to me, the overarching idea was let's give these guys some wins so that we can build the summer months and into the autumn and into Wrestle Kingdom season. Like, to me, going through these results, that's what screamed to me. And I'm all for it. Like, it felt like, look, once again, if there are guys that, okay, I might not necessarily agree they have to lose to help get over younger talent, younger stars that we're trying to build. Suzuki's not one of them. He could definitely lie down on paper, but he doesn't have to. He certainly doesn't have to. And he did, and not for nothing, I appreciated that.
Second match was the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. Stephanie Vaquer successfully defending against Azumi in 10 minutes 58 seconds with a package backbreaker. Dare I say, am I going to go all out and say that this was the best match in the show?
Go ahead, man.
From an in-ring standpoint, I think it was. I think this might have been my...
It was right up there. If it's not number one, it's 1A, 1B. I thought the match was fantastic. I thought both ladies went out there fucking, did some fun, creative spots, hard hitting. Nothing looked lazy. Nothing looked weak. No, I'm kind of in your boat here in the sense of, I think I even said it in Discord. And yes, I did make an appearance in the Discord. Like, if New Japan had any balls, they would make that a legitimate feud. Like, these two should be in the ring together again and again and again. Like, I would have zero problem having them on, a rematch. I know they're setting up another challenger, but, California shows that are upcoming. Like, I would have no problem seeing that again. No problem at all. How long did they go? 15 minutes?
It was 10 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay. I would have given them even more time. I was thoroughly impressed. 1, 2, that match was over, and I thought the match was great. And 3, I wanted to see more. I can't ask for anything more, right? Like, seriously, if you're going into a show, and trust me, I'm not as familiar with them as maybe other people are. Fair enough. I would take that loss, absolutely. But I'm sure that there were, plenty of people that were in the same boat. And I guarantee you, there's not one person that was like, well, that fucking, you know what I mean? I can't imagine, like, anybody kind of hand waving that. And once again, like, that's the point. Like, that's the point of these undercard matches. Like, let's build some new fans, and I'm guaranteeing you they got some new fans for both of them.
Third match, the Strong Openweight Tag Championship Open Challenge 4-way match, where ELP and Hikuleo were against TMDK, Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols, Jarrell Nelson and Royce Isaacs, and Fred Rosser and Tom Lawler. And it was TMDK who got the win with Shane Haste stealing a pin at the end over Jarrell Nelson with a leg lace jackknife. So TMDK are the new strong tag team champions after 9 minutes 56 seconds. I wasn't expecting a lot going into this, but I had a good time here. I have expressed my concerns about the ELP Hikuleo team. Hikuleo, if reports are to be believed, may be gone by June. That's when his contract is up. And we know we haven't seen Tama Tonga pop up in SmackDown. That I'm sure the pair of them would love nothing more than to have Hikuleo joining the ship there. So I don't know how much longer he's going to be around. But the team was definitely less than the sum of its parts. So one, I'm really happy that TMDK have finally got themselves a pair of tag team championships because that's long overdue. And I know I'm going to be on an island here. I thought West Coast Wrecking Crew were really good here, and I thought they were the story coming out of this match because they had the big angle at the end where they fully turned on, I guess, former fellow Team Filthy teammate. That's quite difficult.
Pretty good.
Former fellow Team Filthy teammate Tom Lawler, and in a callback to the disgusting elements of the feud with Fred Rosser, they cut Tom Lawler's hair and ate it, which was gross. They forced Fred Rosser to eat some of Tom Lawler's hair as well, so that was disgusting. But again, everyone's going to laugh at me because I think everyone's just decided that West Coast Wrecking Crew are complete flops, but I like what they did here. I thought they looked good, and I'm quite looking forward to seeing the match they've got coming up at Resurgence. What did you think of this four-way match?
I thought it was okay. Again, sometimes we just try to squeeze 5 pounds of shit in a 3-pound bag, and it's, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and be like, well, it feels like Hikuleo knows he's exploring other options, and I don't know, maybe they felt like they weren't looking forward to eating each other's hair. I don't know. I don't know. It just felt a little disjointed, maybe, is the word I'm looking for. I don't think the match had much flow. Surprise pin, little sneaky pin. What was it? He just threw him out of the ring, right? And just covered him after a couple of finishers. Look, I'm happy for people if they win belts and titles, right? I think that does mean something. That being said, I don't think anybody's clamoring for the strong heavyweight tag belts. I'm glad that we're happy that they won and they got something around their waist. I don't know. To me, this was kind of one of those matches where I'm just staring at it and. You know what I mean? Like it's on, and I'm looking at it, but nothing's sticking. It's just just mindless looking at a TV. So sorry for that. The angle at the end was okay. That was pretty good. Do you see them any of those teams minus? Okay, let's just say TMDK. They hold the titles until World Tag League. Do you see any of these guys as teams in World Tag League?
Probably not.
Right.
But if another follow-up question would be, should they be? And when Chase Owens and Kenta is pushed to the forefront of the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Division, would giving West Coast Wrecking Crew or Filthy Tom and Fred Rosser a run in that spot be any worse? Put it that way.
I'm with you. I would agree with that. I did see the pre-taped interview. It's pretty awful. I was kind of laughing at the production, sitting in the alley cutting their promo. All right. I don't expect them either. And not that they don't deserve, but I just don't have any faith New Japan has any faith in them.
I think the fact that they wouldn't, neither team were included in last year's World Tag League is probably tipping the hand that they are not really that interested. Guys that are probably useful to have around for the US-based shows, but it seems like they don't really have any intention of flying them out to Japan with any regularity. So there you go, just me by myself enjoying Team Filthy and West Coast Wrecking Crew, but that's okay. Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last time. Fourth match, love this one. This was Shota Umino defeating Jack Perry in 15 minutes 4 seconds with a Death Rider. Like bell to bell, absolutely fine, but very much a vibes match, and the crowds made this one extremely memorable. Louis says, did you sing along with Jack Perry's Cry Me a River? I thought this, I guess, was sort of like the proof of concept for this whole Jack Perry run. And dare I say it, I know he's been ridiculed for this, but Tony Khan showing that backstage Wembley brawl footage prior to this event definitely added something here. Like, was it worth it? Almost certainly not. But if he hadn't done that, then this match probably wouldn't have been as fun as it was. And there were all little nods to that, like the crowd chanting, "You got choked out," and no, he did, and Jack Perry putting on a front face look after that, and the crowd lost their mind for that. And just a nice little story with CM Punk obviously being so Perry being so preoccupied with CM Punk, and he went for the go to sleep at the end, and that got countered, and Shota ended up winning. So that sort of played into the story that CM Punk living rent free in Jack Perry's head, costing the match. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and just the way that it finished at the end with Jack Perry sort of giving the begrudging handshake to Shota Umino and kind of baby facing himself. I suspect that means he's wrapping it up with New Japan and heading back to AEW soon. Am I sad about that? Not really. I think it's a nice run. I don't think there's anything wrong with a guy coming over to New Japan to do a couple of tours, get some fun matches out of it, and then go somewhere else. Like, I keep saying, like, the Jonah molds. Like, that was absolutely fine with that. A guy coming into New Japan doesn't mean they have to be with them for years and years and years. Like, it's okay for them to just come in and do a tour or two, freshen things up. I don't think it's going to be like a massive loss to the New Japan roster or anything. And I say that Jack Perry is a guy where the upside is more so with the US crowd and fans than in Japan. So I think this was a really nice payoff to all of that stuff. If we don't see him again in New Japan, I thought a really cool way to end things.
It was one of those times where all the moons aligned, right? They're in Chicago. Obviously, CM Punk, hometown. So there's going to be plenty of fans. You had the bullshit that happened. Then Tony releases the footage from Wembley. Jack Perry, already not well loved by New Japan faithful with the House of Torture bullshit. Then, he's leaning into it now, coming out with the Chicago city flag, coming out, mocking. And then Shota also finding that missing dickheadness of, him doing the little mocking go to sleep and him doing the mocking fucking bullshit, the Baltimore song with the hand wave and everything. And, sometimes the planets and the moons align and you get moments like that, right? That you don't need to, like, you just let it go. Like, just go naturally and react naturally. And let's be honest here. The most disliked pro wrestler maybe on planet Earth right now is Jack Perry, right? And to have him lie down to a guy who we're trying to build, we're trying to give him as much energy and as much opportunity to showcase his personality and showcase his in-ring and all of that. Like, that was just, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, fucking serendipity, right? That's the word I'm looking for, right? Like, it just felt like, wow, what a, like I said, just sometimes real life and pro wrestling mix perfectly. And the crowd was for it. The crowd was knowledgeable. It's a smart crowd. They knew everything, and they leaned into it too. I tell you what, somebody had a sign. What was the sign? Oh, I forget the sign. And I never laugh at signs. I had a little chuckle. What the fuck was it? Jack Perry, fucking something up, drawing a house. Oh yeah, this is me drawing Jack Perry. Neither of us can draw, or something like that. Something like that. I thought that was pretty funny. So whoever that mouth breather was, good job.
All right, fifth match was Mustafa Ali defeating Hiromu Takahashi in 15 minutes and 8 seconds with a 450 splash. Like, the first half of this, was just sort of silliness with the extremely muscular like a kangaroo Daryl toy. I don't know if it's Daryl or whatever, but I had no interest in that. Then it started getting good, and I was like, yes, they're cooking, and then it just finished. So I still don't know if Mustafa Ali is any good anymore. I think he could be, but he didn't quite show it here. It felt like they sort of cruising along, got into third gear, and then it just ended. So I feel like they have a much better match in them. Ali was talking backstage about wanting... he's better than the entire best of the Super Juniors field, and it's just average of the Super Juniors without him or something. So I don't know if there's any possibility of getting him in as a replacement for Yo. I think if that is on the table, I think New Japan should jump on that, because the best of the Super Juniors field is definitely lacking a bit of buzz, and I think that would give it some much needed buzz. But I don't know if that's going to be possible or not. But yeah, I thought we had half of a really good match here.
Yeah, I saw a lot of him over that WrestleMania weekend. Preposterous that he's a junior. Let me just say that, number one. It doesn't look like he could make the weight, but that's all right. He's built, you know, it was him and Matt Riddle, I think it was, in a tag against, I couldn't fucking tell you. I thought he was like, he looked like a professional wrestler. Okay. I mean that in the best possible way. Like, he did not look like a fucking indie schmo, right? He's not a t-shirt wearing, you know, got my gym shorts at fucking Walmart kind of indie pro wrestler. Does not. He looks the fucking part, no doubt. Now, it's not like nothing that he necessarily did over the weekend was I like, oh shit, I can't wait to get on this fucking show and talk about him. And even with a guy like Hiromu, who, you know, he's not fucking Kamitachi, mind you, anymore. But even so, you would think, I don't know, maybe a little bit more. Like, do you think he works like a junior?
I mean, there's the flippy doos.
Okay. Like, I just feel like he's like, I don't know. Like, I don't get junior vibes from him. I really don't. And I don't, and to me, and again, I'm sitting in the front fucking row, he does not have the body, build, height of a junior. So, I don't know. Yes, so there's some flippy stuff. I don't know. I just don't see him as a junior. I don't get it. And you're right, the whole fucking Daryl thing. Like, honestly, I get it. Like, we're selling merch here, but like, I gotta be honest with you, if I never see that dumb fucking cat again, I'd be thrilled.
Moving on, sixth match was the Riot Rules tag match. No DQs tornado tag with the members revealed on entrance. So we had Gabe Kidd, David Finlay, Kenta, and Clark Connors defeating Eddie Kingston, Homicide, TJP, and Jeff Cobb. So Gabe Kidd pinned Homicide after 17 minutes 58 seconds with the driller hole pile driver. Yeah, I mean, this is the legally mandated plunder match that has got to be on every strong show. Just did nothing for me, to be honest. I can't really remember much from this match at all, apart from Kenta just looking like he wanted to be anywhere else. He wanted no part of all the plunder of the big bumps. I'm not surprised after, was it a few Wrestle Kingdoms ago when he had that one with Tanahashi and he got that horrible injury, so I don't blame him for that. But if nothing else, this set up Gabe Kidd challenging Eddie Kingston for the strong title down the line at Resurgence. But the match itself was, nothing for me.
I mean, Lowy. I'm sorry for the coughing. I'm trying to mute as much as I can, but sometimes I just can't. And usually when I start a sentence and the air goes into my lungs. Anywho. I don't know. Fucking match was a match. Kenta, I mean, it's amazing at this point. Like, he was there the weekend. Did nothing. And look, he's getting paid. I don't know. Like, I don't know. You know what? Let's take Daryl the fucking cat and Kenta together. Fucking get up the street. I'm done. Done with it.
The 7th match was the NJPW World TV Championship, where Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Matt Riddle in 30 minutes 15 seconds via crucifix pin to become the new NJPW World TV Champion. So there's all the rumors doing the rounds about what this might signify. And David says, assuming that Riddle is gone after his reaction to losing, are you surprised it took this long for him to cause trouble, or surprised by how quickly it happened? Now, I've not seen any official confirmation that he is done with New Japan. It certainly felt that way after he just popped up immediately after losing the title, and it's just laughing and grinning, walking down the ramp and high-fiving fans, and that was pretty funny, not going to lie. And yeah, it does seem to suggest that he's done and was not necessarily going out in the best of terms, but the match was pretty good. I mean, I'll be doing cartwheels if this is the end of it, because I'd rather not see Matt Riddle working for New Japan. I think we could do without unsavory characters like that, but match was fine. I would rather it were not Zach with this TV title again, because I was hoping that he was above that and he moved on to bigger and better things, but yeah, if this is just a strict rescue mission and he's going to be passing on to Jeff Cobb in the future, then yeah, fine. I mean, maybe it was sort of building towards a Matt Riddle versus Jeff Cobb match because of the history that they had. I don't know. Match was fine. Post-match, very funny. And yeah, hopefully this is it.
Yeah, me too. Not that I had an encounter with Matt Riddle, but he's going around high-fiving everybody, and I was just standing there, and he's like, "What, bro? No love?" And I turned my back on him.
Oh, he dropped you down, King.
That's right. I heard I'm gonna hear a rumor. Got some text. The text was. Let's see here if I have this text. Maybe you got something similar. You tell me. Got a text with this question. What do you know about Nemeth and Riddle having title wins built into their deals? I don't think we've heard anything about that, right?
No. I heard whispers that Nemeth had a title that into his contract was that his first title defense had to be against Tanahashi, hence the Ishii match being a special singles match rather than a title match. But yeah, it would not surprise me if title matches, title reigns were built into their contracts.
Imagine that negotiation. Nah, man, I'm not going unless you give me that fucking prestigious television title. You'd be fucking kidding me. I imagine that. Look, one down. That's the way I saw it. One down. No, but nobody was thrilled. Nobody was happy. I don't think anybody really saw this as a net positive, and specifically with Riddle. Truth be told, look, I know that we as a podcast and the people that listen to this and in our Discord, they have strong feelings. But once again, I will say there wasn't like boos or people yelling things or like nobody either knew or nobody cared. Take that for what it's worth, right? He got a rousing applause in Philly. That being said, when we first heard he was coming, I was told it was just U.S. dates. And, look, I'm not going to tell people how to spend their money. That being said, I don't necessarily have a huge issue anymore. Like, look, I feel like it's just wasted energy at this point. And I could be dead wrong. And maybe that's what people want. People who do shitty shit, they just want the fucking news cycle to get to the newest thing to fucking take down. Cool. That's the world we live in. And that's what they're waiting for. And it felt like that was the case. I hate to say it, but that's what it felt like. I don't think, again, A, people knew, or B, people cared. That being said, like I don't see the positive in having him here. And once again, that display that he pulled leaving that match. Like, let's be honest here. If that was anybody else, they would have got a fucking smack in the mouth, in the back. Don't you think? But because it's Matt Riddle, who can fucking take care of himself, you would think, maybe people aren't as puffing their chest to get in his face. But if that was somebody else, don't you think that that would be a conversation that would be had backstage?
Yeah, I would have thought so. And again, mate, Zack Sabre Jr. doesn't seem the confrontational sort, but who do you think would have been an opponent?
CM Punk. CM Punk would have gotten in his face.
Yes. Well, Jack Perry.
Oh yeah, no, he would just stand there and take the fuck and toss his hair. No, we need CM Punk in New Japan to take care of this locker room. This locker room is fucking chaos. We need somebody to stand up for that kind of shit. That doesn't float. But yeah, no. I mean, that was just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Look, when you leave WWE and you're looking to pick up those indie dates and you're looking to, and then you come crawling to fucking New Japan, and New Japan's stupid as fuck, so they'll sign anybody. I don't know. You would think that there would be a little bit more, I don't know, maybe I'm a fucking dork, but maybe a little bit more respect for not only the company, but how about the guy in the ring? You know what I mean? How about the guy in the ring? Like, I don't know. I felt that was, like, that's, when I saw that, like, that's what I thought. I was like, wow, not just New Japan, not just the title, like, how about the guy in the fucking ring that you're sharing the ring with? So, I don't know. It seemed really fucking low rent to me.
Yeah, someone else popped his word. Maybe it's someone like Henare. If you done that to him, Henare would have probably gone backstage and clobbered him after that.
You know what? I'd pay to see that. Yeah, you know what? How about Gabe Kidd? Do you think Gabe Kidd would have gotten in this? Well, I mean, he would have had the opportunity. He was on the show, right? Was it Gabe on the show?
Yeah, if he deliberately disrespected Gabe, then yeah, I think Gabe probably would have assaulted him backstage, and would have been extremely funny.
It would have been funny. I love assault and battery. It's so hilarious. All right, where are we going?
Right. Eighth match, special singles match. Nick Nemeth defeating Tomohiro Ishii, 40 minutes 7 seconds with the Danger Zone. This was pretty good. More of a sort of New Japan style match than the classic Nick Nemeth like Monday Night Raw style match. I did really enjoy Ishii trying to do the zigzag move on Nemeth, which looked really funny, and that is like the worst finishing move in pro wrestling. It looks terrible. I don't know what it is or how it's supposed to work or hurt the other guy. It's rubbish. And seeing Ishii do it was just really tickled me. I found that very funny. But yeah, this is fine. Again, I'm not sure it's a productive use of time trying to extrapolate this into anything bigger picture and be like, oh, Nemeth, would he work a G1, blah, 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 because I don't think it is. I think there's a limited number of dates there, and I suspect he'll pass over that title to someone else, maybe even Tanahashi at the next show that he's at, and that'll be that. So unless I start seeing evidence or reports that he is working further New Japan dates, it is what it is at this point.
I would have. Am I out of my? Am I on this island? Am I kicking you off the island? And I wouldn't have any problem with him in G1.
No, I'd be absolutely fine with it. But I don't want to waste a load of time prognosticating, and I don't want to say getting hopes up, but discussing and predicting something that there's no evidence of actually happening.
Right.
If it's on the table, like if you're saying to me, would I have Nick Nemeth in the G1? Sure. I mean, it's not like there's people like beating down the doors to get into the. And if it is a 32-man field, like Jesus Christ, we need all the help we can get here.
Right. Man, I hope they don't do 32, but it looks like they are. Whew, that's gonna be. There's gonna be some nights that are gonna be just fucking dog shit. Yeah, I would have him in. I would have no problem with it. And I'm gonna say this, and I mean this in all sincerity and certainly not in a mean-spirited way, but what the fuck else is he gonna do? It's not like anybody's beating down his fucking door at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the details of his TNA deal. He seems to have his hands full with that, but yeah, I mean, outside of that,
Right. Aw. Selfie.
oh, I've got a sad boy.
Oh, now
Oh, come on, come on.
Aw.
Any further thoughts on Nemeth versus Ishii? Because if not,
Oh.
I will hand you the mic
Okay.
and you can talk about Moxley
Yeah.
defeating Tetsuya Naito.
Okay, let's do that. Well, I know for a fact that there has been a lot of chatter, shall we say, online about this match. Not necessarily a match. I think people were kind of like, okay, it was fine. Nothing that's going to, be in the best of the year. But the title change, of course. And again, we you hear whispers and you hear shit and all that stuff. And we did have, and I think a lot of us did, circled this date and what ifs. I will be very honest and say I think this is the best solution, both short and long, for New Japan to have Mox be this champion. If, and I say if, we at the same time, I want Mox to be built as an absolute fucking bastard, a Looney Tune, a guy who will show up anywhere and kick your fucking teeth down your throat. Like, I want him to be built as a serious, tough, bruising champion. What does that mean? Well, that means that he's going to have to defend the title at least 2, maybe 3 times against, again, maybe not the biggest, baddest, toughest wrestlers, but it needs to be done. Now, at the same time, I would love to see, and again, if this all roads point to Shota being a guy, and it doesn't have to be Dontaku, right? It doesn't have to be, post Dontaku. We need to build up Shota Umino. Now, the Jack Perry win, absolutely helpful. You just beat maybe the most hated guy in pro wrestling. That's a feather in your cap. G1. I'm going to say something maybe a little preposterous, but I'm going to throw it out there. I don't necessarily need him to win. It would make things a lot easier, but the idea of Shota winning G1 and having that contract against Mox down the road is what I think would be beneficial to both. So again,
Can I just sort of jump in?
Yes.
Are you aware of the
Yes.
announcement for Resurgence?
I am, yes. Yes.
Yep.
I think it should be a fucked up finish. I think it should not be a clean pinfall. I think there should be something that leads to round 2. I think that I really do. I would have zero problem with this being a no decision in some fashion, right? And the reason being is, to me, that's the money. Like, Mox is not going to be this long-term, multi-year reign champion, right? I think we all can agree with that. So if he's here and he's holding this title and going on national television with it and, doing Mox things with it and defending the title wherever the fuck he winds up, I'm all for it. I also, excuse me, got a cough coming. I also would love to see Mox defending the title, again, 2 or 3 times, no more. I want the title defenses to be special. I want him to beat legitimate contenders. And again, at the same time, building up Shota. That would be my dream. That would be my ideal. It's there for the taking. It definitely can be done. And I know I'm doing a little fantasy booking, but I'm going to be honest with you. Like, okay, if we're all in agreement that Mox is a champion that is certainly not a long-term solution to New Japan's woes. And the idea is to build up these guys that we're eventually going to fucking hitch the wagon to. You got nobody. Like, the guy hasn't lost in New Japan. The guy has not lost in a New Japan ring, right? Mox. Like, let's.
His last singles defeat was against Juice Robinson in the G1 in 2019.
Okay, I mean, that seems like 400 years ago, right? Like, let's lean into that. Now, they could go the complete opposite route and just fucking have him drop the title to, whomever on some fucking random show in fucking Nagata. But I don't know. I feel like, and again, I could be fucking off track completely. But, and again, maybe it's just me fantasy booking. But doesn't it feel like there's a direction and a hope and an idea of, okay, we're going to give this title to arguably one of the more popular pro wrestlers in the world, who has paid a lot of dues when it comes to New Japan and getting over in New Japan and getting over in Japan specifically. Like, he's not a long-term champion. So I would think the goal is we're going to build him up even stronger and pick the person, build them up, and make them a strong contender. And let's have a dream match. Let's have a true championship match. That's my hope. And that's what I'm hanging my hat on. And trust me, none of this has come to pass as of yet. But if I'm Kikuchi, that's where I'm going.
We've got quite a few questions about this. I'm going to read them out and hopefully address some, if not all of them. So, Undertaker says, with Mox being the draw that he is internationally and in Japan, do you think there's a chance that they hold back the match with Shota? Do we see Shota winning G1 and then blowing off in the Dome? If we get Mox for G1, I think that might be doable. Well, like I said, they have announced Mox facing the win. No, Shota facing the winner of Mox versus
Ren
Narita at Resurgence. So, I suspect that will be Mox versus Shota. Daryl says, finally, is the Moxley title reign as controversial as some are suggesting? I love the idea. Mox has never mailed it in for Shinihon. He took skewers to the head against Despy, went to war with Great Khan, and even did a G1 and jobbed to Yano. That's about as company guy you can get while still being a freelancer. He'll work to get Ren and Shoot over and gives a bit of excitement to a championship that has been in the doldrums for a year. Is this a shot in the arm and a breath of fresh air? Or other people write that the IWGP champion should be available for every Korakuen multi-man tag against Chase and Togo between now and G1. Yeah, I'm more than happy with the dates he's doing. I look, if you don't like the title being on an AW contracted wrestler, that's valid. Absolutely fine. If you are upset that Naito lost the title, absolutely valid. If you think the title should be on a New Japan regular, valid. Like, those are all absolutely salient points. I'm not going to fight anyone on those, but I don't think his working schedule in Japan is a legitimate stick to beat him with. Like, I don't think there can be any valid complaints about the dates he's working in Japan. Like, he's defending he's doing the preview tag at Dontaku Night 1, he's defending the title at Dontaku Night 2, and working with wrestlers that, if rumors are to be believed, Kazuchika Okada refused to work with. He's won this title and is immediately defending it against the two of the three Rowan Musketeers and, helping them to go over. So, no, I don't think there's any issue with that. I'm going to go to the next question as well. Violent Skipping says, has there been any negativity towards the title change from Japanese fans? There's been praise from Westerners for the US shows being more embedded in the major New Japan canon rather than being strong storylines and a US or never defense. But does or could this alienate domestic fans? Obviously, there was the title change at MSG, but that was more a one-off or annual event at best. The direction of travel now seems to be towards the potential of a stateside title defense every other month or so, with the corresponding angles continuing in both sides of the Pacific. I've not done a huge amount of research, but I've had a look at the sort of more influential Japanese Twitter pages and just seen, using the auto-translate function, like what the response is. I haven't seen any real pushback against Mox being champion. Like, from what I've seen, people are into it. I mean, some of the tweets that have stood out, I picked out a few. One saying, if Umino were to win this, he would be a total loser. Before he becomes a champion, he should receive a lecture on how to use social media and mental training. Don't let him become the next Ibushi. Here's another one. If you want to increase the value of the World Heavyweight Championship, it would be better to have the world-famous Moxley, who is mobile, hold it rather than the old and in poor condition Naito. So it's the right answer. Here's another one talking about Ren Narita getting a shot at it. Hakata during Golden Week is a pretty big event, but this main event makes me feel like New Japan's current talent pool is thin. I don't want to see Ren Narita in the main event, even in local tournaments. And here's another one. Is it necessary to have Narita versus Moxley in a title match? It would be fine if it was evil, but IWGP is such a light thing. Tsuji has a track record winning the Japan Cup, but Narita has nothing. Umino is a disciple of Moxley, so I guess that's how it is. So, and again, I'm cherry picking things here that were interesting to me, but it seems that there's more pushback on Ren getting the title match than there is Moxley winning it in the first place. So I've not seen any evidence that, and again, Japanese fandom is not a monolith. I'm not saying that these 4 tweets represent the entire fan base, but I've yet to see any significant criticism from the Japanese fans about Mox winning the title. I think Mox is over with all fans, Western fans and Japanese fans, because he's a cool guy, and I almost get sort of stone cold vibes from him. He's got that same aura about him. So I don't have any issues with him winning the title. I don't see him as purely an AEW guy. I'm very happy that he's working. Maybe me and the Discord freaks are in the minority about happy seeing him working with Ren, because that's exactly the sort of thing that Ren Narita needs at this point.
Yep.
Will says, does Damon feel better about the idea of the title being on Moxley / a non-full-time AEW guy, because he instantly set up 2 defenses against young guys who need main event experience with a veteran? And I think it would be saying to read something from the Observer, asked about how Jon Moxley's schedule will change to his NJPW commitments. Tony Khan said it's Gedo's decision if it's defended in New Japan, and a mutual decision if defended on an AEW show. He didn't give a direct answer, but said he was looking forward to working with New Japan on it. So that all seems pretty promising to me. Moxley's never struck me as a guy who's being told what to do by anyone. I think he does whatever the fuck he wants, basically. So, I don't see any issues with that at all. Dragon Lee Ross says, if I set the line at 3, do you take the over or under on Moxley title defenses between now and Wrestle Kingdom? Also, how many defenses do you think take place in Japan? Well, we've got one scheduled at least, and I suspect he's going to hold it through to Dominion. So, David Bentley Fart says, is going the rent-a-champion approach with a wrestler from another promotion the right move, despite what Reddit says Naito is clearly showing his age and isn't the guy to hold the belt through the summer, but Mox seems to be the biggest draw they have access to. This is how I see it playing out. I think he is going to beat Ren, and I think Ren will get a lot from, getting those rough edges that you talk about, Damon, and, having a competitive and violent, and hopefully they bloody each other up. I think that will be good for Ren. The Shota match, this has been a really controversial one, because there's a lot of people who've looked at Dominion being the anniversary. What is it? The 5-year anniversary of when we had the first Mox versus Shota match, and enjoying and thinking New Japan should have sort of played into the symmetry of that, and being disappointed that it's at Resurgence, and thinking like you that they should have built to something bigger than that. So I see Moxley also defending successfully against Shota at Resurgence, but it being again a close competitive match that's going to help Shota get more over with the US fans who they know Shota as Mox's little buddy, his little sidekick. So and I think they need to see him as a top tier wrestler who can hang at the highest level in big title matches, not just being like Mox's little buddy. So I know he has some name value with the US fans, but I think he needs that match in front of the US crowd to establish him personally. But beyond that, I think most likely we're looking at Naito winning it back at Dominion. I think this putting the title on Mox has served 2 things. One, it's popped a gate for Windy City Riot and presumably Dominion as well, when they can run the rematch back, and also given the Ren and Shota the opportunity to work with Moxley in title matches. And I think there is a lot of value in that. But I suspect the way this is going to plan out is Naito winning it back against Moxley at Dominion, which can hopefully get a nice crowd at Osaka Joe Hall, and then Naito holds the title going into the G1. He gets to defend it, maybe against someone at that Adachi show that he's been talking about. And is that the most interesting option?
No.
Maybe not. Does it make the most business sense? I mean, probably. Like Moxley versus Naito, again, that's probably the match that's got the best chance of drawing a good number at Osaka-jo Hall. So that's my interpretation of it, at least. Like, would it be better for Moxley to hold the title longer and build up Shota? Yeah, I think it would. I think that would be more beneficial for Shota. But I will say this: I don't think this is going to be the last time Mox and Shota face each other. Like they can get to that further down the line. Whereas with Tetsuya Naito, I think his time is running out as a tippy top guy. So
yeah. I mean, I think everyone's in agreement that even though each time he holds that title, it does seem like business doesn't really drop. It's not like business falls apart when he holds the title, but yet it's not like he has these long. What is it? The third time champion, and it's like he doesn't even make it to the summer in most cases. Like I said, I think they really have an opportunity. And yes, I was scratching my head with the idea of having a mock Shota match so early. But there's more to do in building both. So, look, it's pro wrestling, right? We can do what they can do it. They can build people up and heat them up and get them to a certain level. I think the last thing that I would really want to see would be a combination of Ren loses, Shota loses, Naito gets the belt back. And you're right though, like to me, the idea of having that match, Osaka, I think it'll draw a house, but like we have an opportunity here. Like I can't step away from that. We have an opportunity here of having arguably top 5 most popular pro wrestlers on planet Earth right now in Jon Moxley being your world champion. And again, not a long-term solution as a champion, to give someone the rub. And we've been begging for it for quite a long time now. We always talk about how, New Japan shouldn't turn in their cards early and, play the long game to build that, one big gate, keep people separated, all that. Like that would be the way I would go. I would keep them separated and at the same time building them up as legitimate fucking guys getting clean wins. And, G1 is that perfect vehicle to do that. If you're looking for singles matches and getting clean wins, like that seems like a great time to fucking do it. I'm not saying that Shota can't get pinned. It can't be in a competitive match and can't still come out, looking good. I'm not saying that's impossible. I'm just saying why. Why do that? Keep them separate. Build them up. Let's get a big match. And here's the thing too. We can build them up. I'm not even saying that you have to give Shota the belt. I'm not. I have no problem with it if and when that works. But he doesn't have to win. I think that they're a little quick on this match. I will say that, unless they got something up their sleeve. But yeah, look, Joel, I was kind of surprised at the idea of not the Ren match, the Shota. Yeah. I don't know what the end game is there for that.
Matt says, watching WrestleMania reminded me the main reason I stopped watching WWE is because the story was never about any of my guys. I'm getting the same vibe from current New Japan. They could turn it around in a heartbeat, but why can't they find anything for my faves? So he mentions guys like Shingo, Zack, Taichi. None of them have main character energy at the moment. I'm happy the Reiwa boys are getting some shine, but I don't think any of them are getting a rocket anytime soon. Would love to be proven wrong. And I'll lump that with another question from Scott. It says, Mox has put in some good work with New Japan and some natural stories ready for Shota, Okan, even Yano. Who are your most anticipated opponents for Mox? Now, wouldn't it be nice if they did, if it is Mox going to have an extended reign, if he were to get in matches against Zack, which they teased before the pandemic hit, Mox versus Taichi. And again, I know they did that in the G1, but that was a long time ago. And I think that both of them have very different wrestlers at this point. So, yeah, I mean, I do share those frustrations with Taichi. I think Shingo is in for an exciting time in the Never division where he's going to be tussling with Gabe Kidd, and yeah, that would be a lot of fun. And Zach's just in a funny spot at the moment with him getting that TV title back. But I mean, you'd have to think that Mox versus Zach is a match that they have avoided for some reason. I mean, I don't know if that's something they've got in mind for 2024, but that would be a very fresh and exciting, and I think a money-making match.
I do too.
More in the States than in Japan.
Yep, I do too. And I'll go so far as to say this. I ain't got a problem with Zach lying down the Mox to help build. I really don't. Like, I would love him to win. I don't see it happening. But I would have no problem with him lying down to help. Again, my end goal would be, let's make Mox this fucking wild monster. And then B, let's build up the babyface challenger who's getting great wins and has set the world on fire, and have that match. And I just am cautiously optimistic that they'll do that. But again, the Resurgence match is what I'm like, why now? Doesn't make any sense to me. But again, maybe they got something up their sleeve.
Daryl says, where does Naito stand at this moment? He's my favourite wrestler, but even I recognise that this reign fell a bit flat and seemed too little too late. It's too late to consider him as your possible ace anymore, correct? And if you were Gedo and had a flux capacitor, would you book the main event of Wrestle Kingdom 2018 differently? We could see Naito at the height of his powers if he went over, but we would lose the Kenny Okada 2 out of 3 Falls match and the subsequent Kenny reign. In retrospect, would you give that up to see Naito have a prolonged run as the top guy at his hottest? Hindsight is 2020, but given the elite self-flating booking and subsequent exit that year, I'd happily make that trade. So, yeah, what do you think about some retrospective Naito booking, and what do we do with Naito now?
Yeah. Well, again, I think injuries are the biggest factor, right? There are a lot of miles on that dude. I still think he's popular.
And even in the Mox match, like, there were just basic moves that he used to be able to do just falling apart, like the combinacion cabron. And I'm sorry, I'm not in the camp where I'm going to say, oh, actually, when he's failing and fucking up his basic moveset, that's actually dramatic and compelling. It's not. Like, that's making me worry for the performer rather than the character Tetsuya Naito. So, no, I don't buy into that. And yeah, I don't want to say we're watching him fall apart before our eyes, but yeah, this is not the Tetsuya Naito of 2017.
No, he's not. And that being said, he's still incredibly popular. He's still absolutely a cornerstone of the promotion. I just, like, the body can only do what the body can do. And again, it's pro wrestling, so they will wheel people out to perform. If they feel, that's probably the worst case. Sorry, a little cough. That's probably the worst case. Is the case where the body is shot, but he's still a draw, and they still, are going to milk money out of him, get in a ring, and hopefully he can fucking survive another night. Like, that's the sad part of pro wrestling. I mean, look, he very well could regain that title, right? But yeah, like, if I'm a Naito fan, I got to be honest with you. I would look back at his time in New Japan, and I think to a person, the people that left the Dome that night, and I'm one of them, couldn't believe that he didn't win the title that night. Like, honestly, that was one of those moments where, you know how, like, when you leave the Tokyo Dome at night and it has just that pressurized air in the doorway, right? Because of the dome. And it's like, it almost sucks you right out of the building, right? When you're leaving. That's what it felt like. Like, it felt like just the air went out of the fucking building. Like, just people staring at each other wide-eyed. Like, what? That being said, I don't know if I would give up everything that we got. I don't know. Just to make Naito more of a guy. So in hindsight, I probably would keep things the way they were, but not knowing what I know now and taking the time machine and going back, there was not a fucking hotter guy on planet Earth. Like that that was the time to do it. And for whatever reason, and again, pro wrestling is weird, where if somebody's got a fucking bug up their ass about you, it's hard to overcome. And if that guy, and I'm not saying there is or there isn't, so let me be very clear. But like if there's like pro wrestling is petty. Pro wrestling is paranoid people not wanting to lose their spots. Like I don't care what you think a pro wrestling locker room is and this camaraderie and all the, they are people that are looking to take your spot if you're above them. Period. End of conversation. And they're the same people that will say, why not me, man? What the fuck? Naito, I'm not saying this is the case, but boy, it sure fucking feels like they give him a taste and they're like, no, you're not the guy. And I wish I had an answer for you. I don't, but I'll just leave it as pro wrestling is a fucking weird thing. Weird.
All in all, pretty great show though, Windy City Riot. Daryl says that Chicago show been really hot. Is a recipe for future international success with New Japan. Less frequent, bigger shows. It seems to me that if they were to put 2 to 3 shows a year in large hot travel hubs, New York, Chicago, LA, Toronto, that they would stand the best chance of success. Mind you, they held a pre-pandemic legit G1 show in American Airlines hub, Dallas, and drew cricket. So what do I know? Multiverse Ace says, after the success of the show, could Windy City Riot be their big USA show, not counting Forbidden Door, or was it a special occurrence with big matches that they might not be able to have annually? Also, Joel, sorry about Arsenal and Damon Godley. So yeah, I think this is proof of concept, as I say, of their change of direction for booking shows in the US, and I think it's working great. I think they've really nailed the blueprint here, where you have a smaller number of bigger shows, and you lean heavily on the partnerships with the other promotions to put on shows that people want to see. You announce the big matches as far in advance as you can, so people can buy their tickets and make travel arrangements. And they've done a tremendous number with Chicago here, and hopefully that is a blueprint that they stick to, and having these little sort of self-contained storylines that don't rely on stuff happening over in Japan in order to be able to move along. I think they really hit a home run here.
Yeah, I think overall the show was a great success. I mean, again, we sat here and laughed at the idea of them running this building. Look, I have no problem at this point of where we stand with New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you're going to run shows in the States, give the people what they want. And that's what they want. Like the proof is there. That's what the people want. I have no problem giving the title to Moxley. Like of any guy that is not a contracted New Japan Pro Wrestling guy, he's my guy. He's the guy. There's no one else that I would be comfortable giving that title to. I would like to see less US shows. Make them special. Partner with whomever you want to partner with to bring in supplemental talent. No problem with that. With the end goal being, let's make young stars bigger stars. Like, if that's not the end game, then everything I don't care about. I got to be honest with you. I don't care. How they're getting there, I like. I just want to make sure that that's the path they're taking. I don't have all the confidence in the world in that, but I will say that by the end of this show, I felt like there was a direction. And it might not be the direction I'm thinking of, but at least in my mind's eye, I feel like there's a direction and possibilities are endless with what we have right now. If Naito successfully defended, where would you go next?
That's it. Like, who would the defenses be that are going to, whet your appetite for, Dontaku and Dominion?
Yeah, I know people don't want to like. There's a very passionate fan base of New Japan Pro Wrestling that's like, I don't want any part of this. This title needs to be, dare I say, Japanese born and bred. I hear you. I understand. I understand what you're saying. There's no one else. Like, just for creative matches and possibilities. Like, Mox is a really fucking solid choice. And once again, I have to have a little faith, and I think everyone else needs to have a little faith. And it's hard because a lot of times we've been burnt, but like, I have faith. I honestly have faith that they know what the fuck they're doing with this, and this is just not a spur of the moment. Let's just get a couple nice houses and be gone with it. Like, I truly believe they have a plan, and I might be naive and dumb as fuck. I am, but that's what I want to say.
So we've already got some matches announced for Resurgence. So this will be May 11th at the Toyota Arena in Ontario. We have Matt Vandergriff against Adrian Quest. We've got Fred Rosser and Tom Lawler against the West Coast Wrecking Crew, Jarrell Nelson and Royce Isaacs. We've got Yota Tsuji and Tetsuya Naito against David Finlay and Kenta. We've got the Strong Women's Championship with Stephanie Vaquer defending against Alex Windsor. We have the Strong Openweight Championship in a no-rope last man standing match with Eddie Kingston defending against Gabe Kidd. And we got the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship where the winner of Jon Moxley versus Ren Narita on May 4th will face Shota Umino. So, pretty quick turnaround for the next US show. But even so, I think they've laid the basis for, again, I'd say a pretty great show here. Like, if I was in there, I'd be definitely snapping up tickets for this one. This, not a full card yet, but what they put on so far, it looks really good.
Yeah. Would you be upset if Mox clean pins Shota?
No, I wouldn't. And I've had people saying, "Oh, so wins and losses don't matter." Like, that's an absurd thing to say. Like, you can have so much to be gained, especially with these Kikuchi storylines where you come agonizingly close. They've got to make people really wait for it and desperate for it. And I think even if we examine it purely on a kayfabe perspective, I don't think Shota Umino can be credibly beating Jon Moxley at this point. Like, what has Shota done to show you that, this guy's, the best wrestler in the world? So, like, he's losing to Evil, just squeaking by matches against Jack Perry. This is not a guy that I think is building up a massively credible resume for becoming world champion. I think there will be a point where he gets that, and probably against Jon Moxley, but I don't think it is on May the 11th. I think he's still got a long way to go. Again, just purely from a kayfabe standpoint.
I agree. Listen, I'm with you. I'm hoping though. I'm hoping that the match does what you explained, though. Like, I hope if Shota's losing, and again, you're right, he should not win the title, but he needs to come out looking fucking strong and serious and legitimate in people's eyes. That, okay, the dude took another step, and that world title is right around the corner. Not yet, but it's right around the corner. Like, I just need...
Yeah, it's got to be that hook, the hook for the US fans to see that and think, oh, he came so close. I want in on this journey.
Yeah.
If they had not been following up to this point, I want to see more of Shota, and I want to be there, at the ground floor when he does eventually get that moment.
That's it. You nailed it. I want to be in on this. I want to follow this. I want to see this, not to use a fucking term that has been absolutely beaten to death, but finish the story, right? That's what we want. Like, we want that. And again, talking out loud about it, that's why I'm kind of scratching my head of, why are we doing this match again? And against this opponent, can't we accomplish these goals against, I don't know, Hiroki Goto? Can we accomplish these goals with, I don't know, Taichi? Can we accomplish these goals with some... And again, I understand G1 is right around the corner. I understand that is a perfect vehicle if we want a guy to get singles wins to really put some fucking logs on the fire. I don't understand the timing of this match. Again, if they have something up their sleeve, great. Knock my socks off. But I will say this. I think to a person that would listen to this show and would watch Windy City Riot and would talk with their friends at the bar about these shows, like, we want to go on a ride. Like, the last thing we would want to see is this just, again, being cash grab. Let's get some houses and, he'll leave and we'll figure it out from there. Like, we want to go on a fucking journey. Like, we're desperate for it. We are salivating for it. It's there. It's there. I just hope, once again, they have something up their sleeve that gives us that opportunity to have those feelings about this product again.
Right, let's check in with Wrestling World 2024 in Taiwan. So this was a show that had new never openweight six-man tag team champions crowns. They had a little mini tournament there. And eventually we had the team of Toriano, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Oleg Boltin being victorious. And they are your new never openweight six-man champions after defeating United Empire in the first round, Callum Newman, Akira, and Great Khan. And then they faced House of Torture in the final. Arthur's not happy about that. He's a big House of Torture fan. Yeah. So they beat Kanemaru, Sho, and Evil in the final. So Kanemaru, Sho, and Evil went through Bushi, Tsuji, and Shingo in their first round match. So there was that. And also Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto.
Oh, no.
He says, I don't want it.
Oh.
He doesn't want it. He doesn't want Bishamon. So Yoshihashi... Sorry, Mum's going to settle him down. We have Bishamon, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto successfully defending against Sanada and Yuya Uemura in a match that I don't know if I'm crazy. I found it really boring. Like, this match did nothing for me. It was slow. It did very little for me. So I would not recommend going out of your way to watch this one. And a pretty good match with Doki defeating Kosei Fujita in 12 minutes 11 seconds with Suplex de la Luna. So setting Doki up for a future IWGP Junior Heavyweight Challenge. So yeah, nothing that I would say you got to go out of your way to see from the show, but I do think it's worth having a little conversation about Oleg Boltin. We've had young lions winning championships before. In more recent history, I think David Finlay was a never six-man champion, whilst either he was still a young lion or very, very early into his post-young lion days. But how are we feeling about Oleg Boltin being belted up and being a never openweight six-man champion?
Yeah, I mean, as much as we loved those titles, they've absolutely have taken a back seat, right? I got no problem with it. I mean, it's never six-man. And by belting him up, as we like to say, does give him an opportunity to not only work with other people, it gives him an opportunity to learn at the same time in the ring. So I think it's a win-win. I think it's fine. Let me ask you this: how were the crowds? Were the crowds decent? Do you think there would be money to be made if they went back?
Weirdly, they seem to be really excited for Satoshi Kojima. I don't know why, but that seemed to be like the one person who appeared where they just like lost their shit for. But it was good. It was fine. Like I'd love to see them. Well, I'd be fine for them to go back to Taiwan, and they should be spreading their wings a bit and doing more stuff like this in Asia.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right. No, not to circle back to Chicago, but one thing that did piss me off, man, I wish they would have lit up the crowd. Like, you drew a fantastic house, a house that, quite honestly, no one expected you to draw. Like, wouldn't you turn on the fucking lights and be like, hey, look at us? These people looking for this hot product. Like, I don't know. Like, it was just like, Mid-South 1983 in fucking Shreveport. Just, the fucking ring lit up. I don't understand why they did that. I don't know. But that was just a minor complaint. That's all.
Right, last thing I want to talk about is I'll just read out some of the upcoming televised shows and match announcements. Obviously, we're not going to preview them all in depth now. That will come nearer the time, but just sort of general vibes and thoughts on this. So first one that's going to be televised is next Tuesday, April 23rd in Korakuen Hall. And that show, the stand-up matches are the Never Openweight 6-man tag team championship match with the new champions, Oleg Boltin, Yano, and Tanahashi defending against the finalists that they beat. So it's Kanemaru, Yujiro, and Evil. So a slightly different configuration of House of Torture. Then, actually, have I got this wrong? No, I'm wrong. There's a show before that. There's a Korakuen Hall show on Monday, April 22nd.
Okay.
So let's go to that one first. Let's do it in chronological order. Otherwise, that will annoy me. So this one is headlined by a faction warfare gauntlet.
Oh.
So we got Taka Michinoku, Doki, Yuya Uemura, Taichi, and Sanada against Callum Newman, Francesco Akira, TJP, Great-O-Khan, and Jeff Cobb. So that's Korakuen on the 22nd. Korakuen on the 23rd, which is the one I was just talking about. So we got Never Openweight 6-man tag team championship match. And then we have a string of singles matches with the War Dogs against LIJ. So we're starting off with Yota Tsuji versus Gedo.
Okay.
Then we got Bushi versus Gabe Kidd.
Okay.
Then we got Shingo versus Clark Connors.
Okay.
Then, this really interesting one, Tetsuya Naito versus Driller Maloney. And our main event is Hiromu Takahashi versus David Finlay. So I like that one a lot. I think that's a really interesting show, particularly Naito versus Driller, because Driller Maloney is my latest guy that I'm sort of waving the flag as this should be your guy that you're going to move up to heavyweight and can be a future star. I do that from time to time with people, and most of the time it ends up being absolute nonsense. But not for nothing, as you say, putting him in a singles match against Tetsuya Naito at Korakuen Hall, just think about that. Remember that one. Store that away. Then on Saturday, April 27th, we've got a televised show in Hiroshima, where our matches at the top of the card are the Strong Openweight Tag Championship with Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols defending against ELP and Hikuleo. We have the KOPW 2024 Provisional Championship with Great-O-Khan defending against Yuya Uemura, and they have put in the stipulations for that. So Uemura has proposed a 2 out of 3 falls catch rules match, and Great-O-Khan is, again, following his rural revitalization gimmick, he says 2 out of 3 on a Mazda tire carrying contest, lemon eating, and a tables match. So there's that. Get voting on that. And main event in Hiroshima is a elimination match with Bushi, Hiromu, Tsuji, Shingo, and Naito against Gedo, Driller, Clark, Gabe, and Finlay. Then we have Wrestling Satsuma no Kuni on Monday, April 29th, where we have the stand-up matches being the IWGP Junior Tag Championships with Driller and Clark Connors defending against Bushi and Hiromu. And main event, Sho defending his IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship against Doki. Then we fast forward to Wrestling Dontaku Night 1, Friday, May the 3rd in Fukuoka. And I think, should I do the whole cards for this? I think I should, because Dontaku's they're notable events, aren't they?
Yeah.
So kickoff match, we've got Katsuya Murashima and Togi Makabe against Shoma Kato and Oleg Boltin. First match, Taka Michinoku and Doki against Sho and Yujiro Takahashi. Second match, Yuya Uemura, Taichi, Sanada versus Callum Newman, Francesco Akira, Great-O-Khan. Third match, Jado, ELP, Hikuleo against Fujita, Shane Haste, and Mikey Nichols. Fourth match, Ryusuke Taguchi, Yoshihashi, Hiroki Goto against Taiji Ishimori, Chase Owens, and Kenta. Fifth match, Bushi, Hiromu, Shingo, Naito against Gedo, Driller, Clark, and Gabe. This is why I've read out the whole thing, because there's a lot of multi-man tag matches here. Sixth match, Despy, Shota Umino, Jon Moxley against Kanemaru, Ren, and Evil. So basically, the first 6 matches on this card are all multi-man tags of some description. Then we've got the NJPW World TV Championship, Zack Sabre Jr. defending against Jeff Cobb. We've got a special singles match between Yota Tsuji and David Finlay. And then main event is the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, Hiroshi Tanahashi challenging Nick Nemeth. So that's Dontaku Night 1. Dontaku Night 2, we've got Frontier Zone, Murashima and Makabe against Jet Wei and Naoki Sakurajima. I don't know what promotion they're from. I've not done the research. Don't really care. First match, we've got Shoma Kato and Oleg Boltin against Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols. Second match, Doki and Yuya Uemura against Francesco Akira and Great-O-Khan. Third match, Kosei Fujita and Zack Sabre Jr. against Callum Newman and Jeff Cobb. Fourth match, Despy, Shota, ELP and Hikuleo against Kanemaru, Sho, Yujiro and Evil. 5th match, Nick Nemeth and Hiroshi Tanahashi against Taichi and Sanada.
Why?
6th match, Bushi, Hiromu, Tsuji, and Naito against Gedo, Driller Maloney, Clark Connors, David Finlay. 7th match, IWGP Tag Championships. Jesus fucking Christ. We got Bishamon, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto defending against, yet again, Chase Owens and Kenta.
Wow.
Never Openweight Championship, Shingo defending against Gabe Kidd. And IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Jon Moxley versus challenger Ren Narita. So, not the strongest Dontaku cards. I think it was important for me to read all of those matches out so you can get a feel for, these are not particularly deep cards. There's some interesting stuff happening at the top of them. And throughout the tour, I would say there is the makings of like one brilliant show. Like if you took all the good matches that I just read from across this tour, then you'd have one super show. But, I understand why they spread these things out. But, spread pretty thin, I would say.
Boy, that's asking a lot, don't you think? Like, I don't know. Like, if you're in the area, are you like hand waving those shows? Because I gotta be honest with you, there's not a lot of. I mean, look, I like the idea of the young guys. I like Gabe and Shingo. I think that should be fun. A fucking shit ton of multi-man tags. I don't know. I hate to say this, but I don't know if I'm feeling these shows. I don't know if I'm feeling them. Like again, the top 2 matches on each show are pretty good, I guess, right? Some of these undercards are fucking brutal. Yeah, I'm not liking this.
Yeah. Well, when should we record next? So it's Thursday the 18th of April, and the next televised one is going to be next Monday.
Okay. So
maybe we can do after that Korakuen doubleheader.
Okay.
What do you
say?
Like
Tuesday?
So there is a show on Tuesday, so we could do maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that.
All right, we'll figure it out. Tuesday or Wednesday sounds good. I should be available for you.
All right. And there's no title matches or anything, so not really any huge prognostications. Hiromu versus Finlay, how do you see that one going? It's got to be a Finlay win.
Got to be, right? Got to be. I mean, again, Hiromu's a junior. I know people keep saying, move him up. I would think you got to. I would be shocked if Finley's lying down to Hiromu here.
What about Naito Driller? Do you think
that should be fun? You're right. I'm kind of pumped for that.
And Shingo versus Clark Connors. That's really good as well.
Yeah, I think those Corkin shows, quite honestly, it might be better than fucking Dontaku, right? I mean, pretty neck and neck, right?
Yeah, I mean, particularly this one on the 23rd.
Right.
Like, those are some... and plus, that's got the 6-man tag team match. And that's 3rd on this card.
Yeah, I'm not feeling Dontaku. I got to be honest with you. Again, I know we talked about it, the top matches. The undercard really is fucking... This might be... Hey, look, we say it a lot, though. When on paper, usually these shows turn out to be something special. They got something up their sleeve. I hope they got something up their fucking sleeve because, man, I'd be like, I don't know if I'm going to this. That's for sure.
All right, that'll do it. It's bedtime for me.
Yeah.
So all that remains to say is redcircle.com/shows/super-j-cast if you want to throw some money our way. And if you show me proof of purchase, then
you'll suck
get
your
you
dick.
in the Discord. Maybe even the day. And that as well.
All right.
I would say access to the deli is $5 a month.
Ooh, we're charging. We're charging deli. Oh yeah,
I would say so. I worked really hard on that, Damon.
I know, honestly. Again, what the majority of the conversations happen late at night, and I'm kind of cheap out. But I wake up and I see a lot of exchange, and then I'll kind of chime in, a little bit, but it's hours late. But yeah, you are on top of it in that deli. Absolutely, you are. So, hey, look.
I mean, the rules of the deli are important. Right? You're not allowed to share deli information outside of the deli.
Right.
Right, because if stuff from the deli starts making it to Twitter or Reddit or whatever, then
we'll find you.
It's shut down.
We have enough maniacs that they'll find you. And even if we're wrong, we'll be like, who cares? You're out. Fuck it. We think it. All right. I gotta fucking hack along. What else do I gotta do? I gotta find some dinner, and I gotta check my email because I heard it going off a lot while recording. So I gotta check it all.
Let's get out of here.
All right.
Let's get out of here. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, my name is Jesse Collins, and I want to tell you all about my show, the Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast, here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. On the Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast, we do a thorough analysis on the biggest issues and trends within the pro wrestling industry. We talk a lot about pro wrestling media, we talk a lot about fan culture and wrestling's place within general pop culture, and we talk about the broader influences that are shaping the way we discuss and analyze the pro wrestling industry. We've had some of the brightest minds in the pro wrestling intelligentsia on the show, including WrestleNomics host Brandon Thurston, both Rich Craich and Joe Lanza from the Flagship Wrestling Podcast, Trevor Dame from the Through the Years podcast, and a whole lot more. This isn't a show for hot takes. It's not a show recapping the latest episode of television. This is a show focusing on the biggest topics in pro wrestling and doing a deep dive on the real stories behind the surface level analysis you might find elsewhere. The Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts, and we'd really appreciate it if you gave us a try. Thanks.